This video was supposed to upload it in the last week. But surprise, surprise, I recorded this and I made this design, which looks pretty good in my opinion. And then when I was about to edit my video, I saw that I had recorded the entire video in 720p. Everything was very pixelated and blurry. Yeah, I know, I am really stupid. I mean, I've been doing YouTube for almost 2 years now, and I just make this kind of mistakes. Anyway, let's make it again. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make this amazing looking tank top in Marvelous Designer or Glow 3D. I am actually using Marvelous Designer, but if you have only Glow 3D, feel free to use it. Everything will be just the same. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my own avatar, and make sure whenever you use any avatar, it doesn't matter what, but make sure the skin offset is absolutely 0 or below 1. By default it's 3mm, which is way too aggressive. I don't recommend it using it. Anyway, I'm gonna make it from scratch and it will be for absolute beginner. All right, now let's start with the rectangle pattern, but before that I'm gonna dock it here. That's why I use Marvelous Designer. This is an amazing feature. I don't know, I'm not sure if Glow 3D new version has it. I don't use it anymore. All right, the first thing I'm going to select the rectangle pattern tool, and I'm going to add or make a rectangle according to my avatar's outline. And then the first thing I'm going to do is make sure these are turned off. The seam line, internal line, it's annoying to have this on, you know. And make sure it's thick layer surface, or I suppose it is, yeah, thick textured surface. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the add point and speed line. By the way, always check these tools. These are the most important tools that I use all the time. So I'm going to use add point tool, and I'm going to add a point here and here. And then with the edit pattern, I'm going to select this and this and just drag them out with shift, drag them down with shift, and select this, because this is going to be the armhole. That's why it needs to be a bit longer. I'm going to use the edit curve and curve that to make a kind of round shape. That's going to be the neck hole, and that's going to be the armhole. Now the solder, never make them solder. This is the solder line, the solder seam. Don't make this flat. If you make this, you'll regret it. So just select this point and just make it a bit, you know, ramp thing. I don't know what this called. I call it ramp. So I hope you understand. So select the rectangle pattern with the transform pattern tool. Then Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, copy and paste. Then right click in the 3D window and flip the normal. If I find, yeah, flip normal. And let's move it backside. All right, so let's move it here. Fantastic. Now select both of them, Ctrl+D, or right click symmetric pattern with sewing. So you have a complete t-shirt pattern. Now I'm going to use the segment sewing, and I'm going to sew in front first. Oh, I might, yeah, don't turn off the threads, always turn on this. It's very useful. If you're struggling sewing in 2D window, I recommend you to sew it in 3D window. And in the solder, by the way, there will be some time where sewing in 3D window is easy, and most of the time sewing in 2D window is easy. So I always recommend learning how to sew in 2D window. So let's simulate. I didn't sew the side seam. I'm going to first let it drip, and then I'm going to sew the side seam. I do it just because sometimes it just clips with the arm, and it's a bit frustrating part for me at least. All right, let's start with making the solder area. So I'm going to first select this one with the edit pattern, and then this one, then right click, match up to start. This is the most useful feature or useful hacks that I always use to the solder area. I mean, it just super great. This point, there are 2 points, is these 2 points. So if you select that points and then move it, both of the points move in the same direction. So it's let's clicking and let's measuring things. That's what I need, basically. So I'm going to select this also, and let's make it there. By the way, I will say this sentence a couple of times. Don't stuck on my tutorial. Use lots of different style in tank tops, because there are countless number of style available online. So just download and make it. I'm making the most easiest tank top. So yeah, select that and that. Again, right click, match up to start. I highly recommend you guys to make this as shortcut. I made this as Alt S. By the way, I am thinking to make a comprehensive shortcuts tutorial that I use a lot, which will make you at least 3 times faster in Morpheus Designer or Claw 3D. So stay tuned for that. If you use hotkeys, just select that and then hover over here, just press the hotkey and boom. It's so fast, Simulate. This area is really important in tank top design. The design I am making, by the way. So don't just do it casually. I forgot what to say, but you have to be a bit careful. And make sure this hole or this intersection is very smooth. If it's not, if you make like this, it will be pointy, and I'm gonna use edit curve point and I'm gonna actually curve it like this. So I want this kind of back neckline, arm line of armhole. Now let's fix the back neckline just a bit. So again, I'm saying it, don't just follow me blindly. I know it's a bit irony because you're watching my tutorial to gain knowledge, but I always say use your creativity most of the time. So I think that looks good enough. So I'm going to select that, this two, and press my hotkeys, and there we go. All right, looks okay, but I'm not very happy with that. Let's fix this just a bit here. If you have excess fabric, don't worry, I will solve it without making it dirt, because a dirt doesn't make sense in tank top, right? Because it's mostly elastic. Oh, by the way, select this fabric one, and I recommend using cotton 40 poplin. I used stretched poplin, but it didn't work that great, but the 40 poplin was good. It is a bit lightweight, and it's just adapts the body just a bit nicely than the custom. Then I'm going to select that and drag this down almost in this area. Yeah. Now tank top stops are a bit tighter, so I'm going to make this a bit tighter in the waist area. So this is the area that I'm going to make a bit tighter. So I'm going to select add point and add a point in this area. So I'm going to select both. Here's another really an amazing hack you can use. Use the transform point, so it will add a gizmo. Then double click here to activate the pivot. It's orange, that means it's activated. And you can just drag this to decrease the fabric at the same time, so less hassle. All right, then I'm going to select this area, double click again, and I'm going to add a bit fabric here, and make sure to have an amazing fold overall the top, because folds makes tank top better. Yeah, make sure the fitting is nice. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select everything, then right click and remove linked editing. Then I'm going to select edit sewing, then right click here, merge, right click here, merge. So I have front pattern and the back pattern, the way it should be if you're making in real life. Great. Now, as you can see, this neckline, this center line is a bit odd. Select that, right click, convert to curve point, and use edit curvature point. Select this point and make this down. Basically make this smoother. Do the same thing here. Select that, right click, convert to curve point, and you don't have to smooth that because it's already smooth. It is a bit loose in this area. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add an internal line, then right click, add trim to parent outline. This is, right click again and cut and sew. Select both, use transform point tool, double click in the middle, and just make it a bit tighter because it has to be tight, not loose. Now you can just merge it again, and you can just convert to curve point, and you can delete. No, I'm not going to delete it. I'm going to actually select these 2 points and drag them down like that, maybe a bit down like that, and then right click, convert to curve point. So they're curved, they're smooth. And again, I'm going to use this curvature to balance things out. Don't leave any pointy things here and there. So it's just fixing some stuff and smoothing things out, which you should. And now play with the folds. Make the folds a bit nicer, bit prominent to have an amazing tank top design. Now, this is the base shape, and this looks very bad. It looks like it's very bad. Now let's make it better. How? Pretty easy actually. But guys, please make sure you are happy with this. This area, as you can see, it's a bit pointy. So I'm gonna select this, right click, and rotate y-axis and select this line. Right click, rotate y-axis, this line. Select that and that. Right click, match up to start. Alright, you can see this area is fairly pointy, and I'm gonna fix it to make this a bit smoother like that. And I'm gonna also select this and make them a bit downish to have them a bit more smoother. Because it's not symmetric, I need to make it twice. So as previous, I rotate them. I use hotkeys, so that's why you can see how fast I am. Let's fix this. Let's make this a bit lower, and let's make this. Yeah, basically this has to be nicer. That's matters. Now this looks very basic, very boring. Let's make this a bit nicer by reducing vertical distance, of course. Everyone knows. So select both and reduce it to 6. I'm gonna reduce it even more. Well, when I will be recording stuff, when I will be rendering. Damn. So I'm just fixing. It will be a bit slower, so that's why I highly recommend you to adjust the fold first and then make the vertical distance lower. As you can see, folds looks pretty amazing, but let's fix this area by adding bindings. Select this and make this 18 or 16 for now, and also make this 16, but for some reason it doesn't match here. Well, it's obvious reason, because anyway, so to match this, I hope it doesn't happen to you. It's very frustrating. So I'm going to select this, make this here, and also select this, make this here. Yeah, I know it's extra work, but I'm sorry about that. So when you make this, let's select these lines. Make sure you're selecting all the 4 lines like this. Use trace tool, right click, trace as a pattern. There you go. And do the same thing here. But if you assign a hotkey, you can select the hotkey and bam. Now segment sewing, like this, like this, like this, like this. Select both in the 3D window, right click on one of them, superimpose over. And then I'm going to sew it in 3D window here and here as well. And of course simulate. Yeah, like that. And I'm going to do the same thing here in the 4 lines like this. Internal line 16 should be fine. Make sure you're selecting these 4 lines. Trace tool, right click on any of the segment and trace as a pattern. The same thing here. 4 lines, trace tool, trace as a pattern. Make sure you don't have this ugly points. So right click, convert to curve points. So you have these single lines. So again, select these 4 lines, trace, 4 lines, trace, and segment sew here, 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 and here, and here, and here. Select all 4 bindings, then right click, superimpose over. Now in the 3D window, you have to sew it. You can just separate them and sew it like that. You can separate them and sew it like that. Make sure the sewing threads are not reversed. It's very important. If you make this reversed, just hit B, right click, reverse sewing. Here's like that. And of course simulate. So most of the time the bindings reduce this excess fabric, but if it doesn't do it, you can do one more thing, which is select this edges, all the edges from the neck bind, from the armhole binding like that. And the property window, let's find elastic, add elastic. Make sure the strength is 2 and ratio is 99, and simulate. So there will not any excess fabric. Let's fix you have to constantly fix the foldings. Posing of course makes the folds better. I will add pose, but not now, later. Add some folds here and there. I mean, tweak the folds. It should be random. I know folds aren't random, but it is random. I mean, folds has its own theory. So now let's make this for now. I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select all these bindings and make the particle distance 3 for now, and collision thickness 1, and simulate so they're a bit nicer. Now one more thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select this low line, this line, then internal line, right click internal line, hit 1, and number of offset 2. Hit OK. Select here as well, do the same thing, but make sure these are inside, not outside. The 2 red lines means it will be placed as outside, so I need inside. That means reverse direction, like that. Do the same thing here as well. So make sure this is not outside but inside. Now let's first segment sew from this to this. Make sure when you segment sew, make sure you are sewing in the same or correct segments. And if you do it, it will say 0 0. So select that. Select here to here. It will say 0 0. If not, it will not say 0 0. That means you are making a mistake. So 0 0. It's a great way of checking things like that. And when you simulate, you can see an amazing stitching line that looks very amazing. You can also make the same thing here as well. So just add 2 here. You can just add 1. Just hit 1, a distance 2 millimeter. Hit OK. Do it here, here, and here, and hit OK. Do it here, 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 and here. Make sure it's inside reverse direction. Hit OK. Sew it. Make sure you're sewing in the right segments like that. And if you do everything perfectly, you will have amazing stitch line. By the way, I'm not going to show you how to add stitches. It's the most easiest thing you can do. I want a bit nicer folds, not just boring folds. All right, you can add hemline if you want. I mean, you can add hem if you want. So select this, right click, also horizontal line. For hem, 8 millimeters should be fine. Reverse direction here. Just select this, trace, the same thing basically. But they work a bit, I mean, in real life, it's a bit different to make, but here you can make it like this way. So yeah, I just sewed here and here. Now select those, right click. I'm gonna superimpose over. If you make it under, doesn't matter. So reduce it quite a lot and reduce the colors and thickness as well. And of course, simulate. There we go. An amazing hemline. But I don't like the folds. It's looking bad. Let's keep it like that. To be honest, what I did the last week, it came out really good. I'm gonna make it 4 and just simulate just a bit. Yeah, like when it's time for YouTube, my dress always looks bad. I don't know why, but it does. Yeah, this is not amazing, not great, but yeah, something. So I'm gonna save it real quick. So yeah, that's how you can make an amazing, I don't say it amazing, that's how you can make a tank top design. This is the one the last time I made. The fold looks amazing, but the overall outfit looks better in the new version, I mean in this tutorial. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you find this video helpful, please give this a like and subscribe for this kind of tutorial. And if you think I'm worthy of your support and to get extra from my side, you can subscribe my Patreon. Thank you everyone for all the supports. I will see you the next time.